block to now. Class has now started. So we're going to start with our do now. I want you to take a look closely. I'm going to let you sit there for right now, but in a moment I'm going to have you come join us up here, okay? You can do the do now from there, but you're going to come join us in a second, okay? You're going to need your journal for this part. And when you move up here, you're going to need to bring all your stuff. So you can do the do now there, but when we start to review the do now, you have to come up here. Understood? Yeah? Okay. All right. So, your do now. What do we start with? What's today's date? I can't write it because we've been testing in here, but what's today's date?
Wednesday.
Wednesday? What day?
6.
So we have day actually. Wednesday. What
March.
date? March?
6, 2024.
March 6th, 2024. So, I'll write it up here for you in case you need it. March 6th, 2024.
Wednesday.
I mainly want you to put the date. I'm okay if you don't put Wednesday. Just put the date. If you already put Wednesday, great. If you didn't, that's fine too. Alright, so we're going to start our do now. I'm going to read you what the do now is, and then you guys can start to write. Okay, you can think and then write down what you think. So what does it what does it mean, not meant? What does it mean to compare? What does it mean to contrast? Ms. Quesada needs to, not rush. What is Ms. Quesada not doing that I always tell you guys to do?
You need to dar el ejemplo.
I need to double check my work. Right. Sometimes I'm reading too fast and I think it's correct and then I mess up. Okay. So what does it mean to compare? What does it mean to contrast? You have two questions. So the first question would be, compare means, taka, taka, taka. Contrast means, taka, taka, taka. Right? And if you're not sure what it means, take a look at page 107 in your workbook. Top of page 107 might give you a little bit of a hint. So start the timer. You have 5 minutes.
How would you say contrast in Spanish?
Contrast. Look at your book. Contrast is also a vocab word, so it will be in the back of your book. Oh, because if I tell you what it means in Spanish, Francis, that defeats the purpose. I want you to try to figure it out by yourself. We'll go over it in a second. See Allison's looking through the book, trying to get ideas. Most of us are done at least with our first sentence. Okay.
How can I say similitude? How can I say this similitude?
Similarities.
Similitude.
How do you practice for the DLPT? Because in the DLPT, are you going to be able to ask me? Similarities. It's spelled similar to Spanish.
Like,
The first part?
say,
How do you spell it in Spanish? Spell it in Spanish. Spell it in Spanish.
¿Cómo?
Just write it out in Spanish. So up to there, it's spelled the same. Similarities. I want you to practice sounding it out because on the ELPT I can't help you. You have to try to use those skills of sounding it out. And often if it sounds similar in English to Spanish, it's spelled similar too. Done? Sure. Do you think complete sentences? Where did you put the same contrast? Are we usually just talking about one thing? How many things do we have to be talking about if we're going to compare? Do we have that information? So instead of writing a question, I'm going to say compare means. You don't need to type contrast means. Alright, time's up, and I saw most of us have an answer to at least one of them. So for the sake of time, let's go over what they mean. Who is brave enough to share their answer? If you didn't write anything, listen to the answers that we're sharing and write them down while you hear them. Okay? Who's brave enough to share their answer? Who's brave enough to share their answer? Let's see, Genesis, what did you get for what does compare? What does it mean to compare?
Compare means to find what is the same.
You don't need mean is. Compare means,
Compare means is.
no, you don't need is.
Oh,
Try it again.
compare means to find what is the same between two or more things.
Good, make sure you correct what I told you to correct, okay? Yumi, what does contrast mean?
Contrast mean to find what is different between two or more things.
Two or more things. Jose, you had a good word. You had a good word in your answer. Give me your answer.
Compare means to find a similar or two
Similarities. What's the word?
similarities.
Okay, we're gonna try that again. The word is similarities. Similarities. Similaridades. Right? So similitudes. Two ways to say it in Spanish. Okay? Jose, I'm gonna need you to put your stuff on your desk. Jose, you're gonna stand here for me so that you're not so far away. Come on. I said you could do the do now there, but you have to do the review part up here. The rest of the class you gotta do up here with us. Alright, so compare, when we're comparing, the difference though, Jose, compare is when we find what? Things that are the same. Okay? Contrast is when we find how two things are. What do you think it means? Raise your hand. So when we're comparing, we're finding similarities. Similarities means sames, how they're the same. Contrast is the opposite. When we contrast, we do the opposite. So if when we're comparing, we're finding how they're the same, similarities, right? When we contrast, what do you think we're doing?
Different.
The differences, right? We're finding how they're different, okay? So today, that's what we're going to be practicing. We're going to be practicing finding how things are similar and how things are different. And not really just finding the similarities, we're going to be practicing writing about how things are similar and how things are different. On the ELPT, Yumi thinks he already knows it all. Okay. Well, on the ELPT, you won't have to write it, but you will have to say it. And if you know how to write it, and you use your scratch paper and write it down, then you'll know how to say it. Okay? So learning how to write it also helps you figure out how you're going to say it. Because on the ELPT, you can practice writing it down, and then you can say it into the microphone. Deal? On the ELPT? No, on the ELPT, you can record it, and you can even play it back and listen. You're thinking about TEL, the one on the tablet. On the ELPT, you have more time. So we're going to practice taking the ELPT on Friday. We're going to practice the talking part, so you can see how you can do it, so you make sure you get a better grade than last year. Deal? All right. So our objective today, like I said, we're going to be going over how to compare and contrast two things using a Venn diagram. And if we can get to it, we'll also do the writing part. So I kind of already gave you a clue. But have you seen this before? What is this called? Do we remember? In English.
Circle.
I literally just told you so you were paying attention. Noemi looking resourceful. She's looking through her book. Noemi, raise your hand. Tell me your answer. Noemi, what's your answer? Venn diagram. This thing is called a Venn diagram. The guy who invented it, I think his last name was Venn, so they named it after him. Venn diagram. So it's not just two circles. That's incorrect. We use this for something. The second question is, what do we use it for? It is a Venn diagram.
Oh.
It is. That's what it's called. What do we use it for? Amy?
Oh, for in the middle, they put the similarity.
Okay, so in the middle we put similarities. Okay, so you've used this before. Yumi, are you remembering using it in my class last year?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to be helping me out. Allison, do you remember using it last year? Okay. Do you guys? I know. So this is new for you. But look, Allison's sitting near you two. Yumi's sitting near you, so everybody has somebody that can help them. Hey, that worked. Okay, so in the middle we put similarities. Okay. So what do you think we put on the sides? If you were my class, don't answer the question. Give somebody else a chance. What do you think we're going to put on the other sides? Noemi? The differences. The differences. Okay. So, since we kind of already know how to do it, let's play and compare and contrast. If you were in my class last year, this is review, right? If you weren't in my class last year, or if you were in my class last year but this part was hard, it's okay. We're going to learn how to do it today together. Again, for some of you, it's review. For some of you, it's brand new. So today we're going to compare and contrast lemons and bananas. Okay? Sounds easy. Maybe it is. So here's what I'm going to have you do. Yep, on this worksheet, turn to the back page. Turn to the back page. Turn to the second page on this worksheet. Turn to the second page on this worksheet. Okay. So we told you what we're going to be comparing and contrasting.
I know you'll give me that up.
Oh, we'll do it at the end. Okay? Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. Okay? As soon as we start the exit ticket, I'll do it. All right. So, for those of you that were not in my class, now we're going to go over how we use the Venn diagram. Now, we said what goes in the middle? Similarities. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to annotate this, and I'm going to be writing it up here with you guys, but you guys are going to be writing it over there on your paper. So in the middle, I'm going to put what both things have. Ooh, maybe you can't see that one so well. Let's do blue. So in the middle, we're going to be writing what they both have. Okay? And then on this side, we're going to write about bananas. And I want to label it so that I remember what side I'm putting what information on. And on this side, what should I write? Lemons. Lemons. So, let's start with how they are similar. What is something that's similar about bananas? And we said similar means? Genesis, what does similar mean? Don't give it to me in Spanish.
When it's the same.
When it's the same, good. So we're going to find things that are similar, that is the same about lemons and bananas. What is one thing that is the same? Noemi had her hand up first, so I'll go ahead and honor that. Go ahead.
The color.
The color, okay, so they're both what?
They have the same color. Yellow.
Sure, they're both yellow, okay? We're going to say yellow in the middle. And we're taking notes. The Venn diagram, I forgot to say this. A Venn diagram we use to take notes about what we're going to compare and contrast so that later we can put our notes into a sentence or a paragraph.
Huh?
Yep. So, you should be following along. I have a Venn diagram. You have a Venn diagram.
Lo tengo que poner en complete sentence.
So, if we're just doing notes, do we have to do complete sentences?
No.
No. We're using this to take notes so that when we do start to write incomplete sentences, we'll have ideas to use in our sentence. Okay? Good question, Jose. Also, I had said that, so we need to be listening, okay? All right, so in the middle, both. They're both yellow. What's another thing that's similar about bananas and lemons? You know what I mean? The only one that knows. Yeah.
Oh,
Yumi.
they go fruit.
They're both fruits. Bananas and lemons are both fruits. Okay, what's another thing? Let's do at least 3 for each category. Noemi,
Oh,
Se puede tomar.
you can drink it?
Ajá. Se
Eat it,
puede
eat it,
hacer en
eat it.
banana licuado, se puede tomar. Y el jugo se puede hacer en limonada, se puede tomar.
Okay, now say all of that in English.
Ah,
It's an English class, bro. You gotta tell me in English what you want to say.
you can drink.
You can drink it, which you can drink the lemon juice.
With lemonade.
Okay, you can make lemonade. All right, and what about the? I don't know how to drink the banana though.
Se puede licuar leche, hielo.
What?
With milk.
Milk, sugar.
Okay, so you can make it a smoothie. So I'm gonna say you can eat both of them. Both of them you can eat, right? Both of them you can eat. Okay.
No se puede comer. El limón.
Yeah, you can.
A mí me gusta.
Y este es amargo.
I mean, you can't eat it. I can eat it. I love sour stuff.
Yo
All
también.
right.
Mangoes.
Okay, so now let's talk about differences. We have 3 things for how they're the same. That's great. Now let's start talking about how they're different. And here's what I want you to do. When we talk about how they are different, try to stay within the same category. Okay? What is a category?
Categoría.
Categoría. So, if we're going to talk about how they taste, maybe, do they taste the same
No.
or different?
Different.
So, our first bullet points are both going to be how they're different in flavor, right? In flavor, right? So it makes our answer flow better if we say differences that are in the same category. Because it'd be weird if I said the lemon has peel or the lemon is juicy, but the banana is sweet. I mean, that's different, but it's not the same category. You see what I'm saying?
The lemon is amargo.
We could say sour, so we're talking about flavor. So if lemons are sour, okay, sour, amargo. If you haven't seen this word before, this is amargo. I'll put it in Spanish in parentheses. Amargo. Right? Okay. So let's stay in the same category. So if we said flavor here, what's different about the banana?
It's sweet.
Genesis, what's different about the banana?
The banana are sweet.
Bananas are sweet, right? What does sweet mean? Dulce. They're sweet. Sweet. If you don't know what sweet means, dulce. Tienen un sabor dulce. Okay? Alright. What's another category that we could talk about?
This is liquid and this is a.
So tell me in Spanish and then we'll think about the words in English.
Este líquido.
¿Es líquido?
Ajá, es con todo de tripa.
Alright, entonces jugoso. It's juicy.
Juicy.
Okay? So now she's talking about the inside of the lemon, right? So we have to stay within the same category. Yes? Okay, the category is the inside. We said the inside is juicy. Okay, cool, juicy. What about the banana? So remember, you don't have to use complete sentences. Just like I'm doing, I'm just putting a word, right? I'll make it a complete sentence when I'm writing my paragraph. That comes next. Okay? So, sweet, dulce, sour, juicy, okay.
Bigger.
Oh, the banana is bigger.
Ah, but that's not, we were talking about how this one is juicy. We can't talk about, the category was in size.
Esponjoso.
Esponjoso. Spongy.
Aguado.
Aguado, okay. Mushy. Mushy. Alright? So this one is juicy, but the banana is mushy. And dry. Is it juicy? Is the banana juicy? ¿Le sale jugo?
No.
No. So I would say mushy and dry. Or more dry. Okay. Or maybe it's more like creamy. Cremosito. Creamy. Maybe not dry, but creamy. So mushy and creamy. Okay. All right. Do we have any other categories we want to add? Maybe the shape.
The lemons are
Okay, the lemons are circles. Circular. Oops.
Y es palo.
Circular. And the bananas are like an arch.
La mitad del círculo.
Okay, and bananas are more long
tipo luna.
and arched,
Luna.
right? Arched, like a rainbow. You know how a rainbow is arched? Como un arco. Okay, long and arched. Okay. Like a boomerang.
Lemon is round y the banana is round.
Okay, so we have another one that's size. So lemons are small. And bananas are bigger.
What singular means?
Circular. 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 Redondo. Circular. It means round, you mean. Another way to say circular is round. So lemons are round. Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this on my phone so that I can remember what I wrote, because you guys have it on paper, but I don't. So, show that I have it, because now we're going to try to write it on paper. You ready?
Wait.
Okay. Pencil's still moving. That's all right. So remember, you don't need full sentences here. You just need, and assist because I'm looking at your paper, you don't need full sentences. I appreciate it, but you don't need them here because this is just notes, where you catch your notes. Okay? So, Yumi, almost done? Remember, you don't need Okay, cool. Don't erase it. It's fine. I'm not going to take off points. But in the next part, just do notes. You don't need to have full sentences. Because you're supposed to do the notes kind of fast so that you have enough time to do the writing. Okay? If you do your complete sentences in this part, you're going to waste too much time. Right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and see how we would write a response to a question comparing bananas. So, if the question says, what is similar, so ignore this part for right now. Ignore this part for right now. The question says, what is similar and what is different about a banana and a lemon? We just wrote a whole bunch of stuff about how they're similar and how they're different, yes?
Yeah.
So now, here's what we're going to do. In our paragraph, we need an introductory sentence. The very beginning needs to be a restate of the question. How do you think I'm going to restate the question?
The color. For the color. They are similar about the color.
Okay, you're jumping into how they're similar.
Oh, different.
Banana and
Allison, let's see if she can dig into her brain and remember how we did it last year.
Banana and lemon are similar and different because
Close. All right, so your introductory sentence, here's what you're going to say. There are many similarities, because we saw that there are a lot of things that are similar about them, right? We're just going to choose one. So it says, there are many similarities and differences. Here, we want to make sure we mention both, because our paragraph is going to mention how they're similar and how they're different, right? Your first sentence is going to tell me what you're comparing. So here I'm going to say, there are many similarities and differences, and then what am I comparing? Bananas and a lemon, right? I'm going to let the person reading this paragraph know, en este párrafo yo voy a escribir sobre las similaridades y las diferencias de bananas y limones. Understood? Okay, your first sentence is going to let the reader know what you're comparing and contrasting. So you need to include both. You need to tell me how they're similar and different. So on your paper, on the first page, some of you already beat me to even telling you, but on the first page, for those of you that didn't realize, on the first page, we're going to start writing the sentences. Move a little faster, Jose, because you're going to get left behind. So our first sentence is going to say there are many similarities and differences between a banana and a lemon. What if I was writing about a dog and a cat? What do you think my intro sentence is going to say? I'll let you guys finish and then I'll ask that question. Sorry. Went too fast. Alright, for those of you that are done, if I was writing about a cat and a dog and I wanted to compare and contrast a cat and a dog, what would my introductory sentence say?
there are many similar and different between a cat and a dog.
Good. So I would start it the same, right? But the only thing that would change is what I'm comparing and contrasting, right? There are many similarities and differences between a cat and a dog. Okay, so now, you can start with what's different, or you can start with what's similar. It's up to you. I think it's easier in my paragraph to start with how they're the same, because usually I'm only going to say one thing for how they're the same. But when I start talking about how they're different, there's two things I have to mention, right? Because I have to mention how one is, and then I have to mention how the other is, right? So I usually start with similarities, so I can talk about how they're the same first, and then I'll talk about differences. Also, it helps me remember because it's asking me to compare and contrast. Compare means to tell how they are the same. Contrast means to tell how they are. So my paragraph should go in that order. I'm going to give you my intro sentence to the paragraph, then tell you how they are similar, then tell you how they are different. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So now I'm going to start with telling what I'm talking about. Bananas and lemons are similar because both, what does both mean?
Those.
Okay. And now I'm going to have you tell me, what should I write? Now is when we look at our planning paper and we say, what did I write in my planning paper? What did I put on my planning paper? So what could I write? Bananas and lemons are similar because both
Are yellow.
Both are yellow. I could say both are yellow. What's another thing I could say?
They are
Okay. Okay, both are yellow.
Forma.
So I could say, and they are, si quiero incluir dos. If I'm including two things, then I have to say they are both again. Okay? Bananas and lemons are similar because both are yellow. We could leave it at that. Or we could say because both are yellow fruits. Because yellow is an adjective. Fruits is the noun. Adjectives come before the nouns. I'm describing the color and what they are. Yellow fruits. We could do that. Maybe that would be better. And that includes two of our things. Bananas and lemons are similar because both are yellow fruits. I only need to give one thing that makes them similar, right? You could give more. You could. But for everything that you say that they're similar in, you need to say, and both are. Okay? So if I wanted to include, what else did we write? We said they're yellow fruits. They're both,
they can
you can eat them.
eat.
And both can be eaten.
Eat it.
You can eat, and you can eat both of them. But the word both needs to be included again if you have another thing. Make sense? Let's keep it simple for the sake of this exercise and just do one. They're both yellow fruits. One similarity. Okay? How do you think, okay, you guys are still writing your similarity.
The same thing, like different, but different.
Okay?
Instead of.
So how do you think I would start my next sentence if I'm talking about how they're different?
The banana and lemon are different because.
Good. So bananas and lemons are different because bananas, so, oh, now here. Remember I said stay within the same category? If I talk about how one is big, I can't talk about how the other is mushy. Or how one is small, I can't talk about how the other is mushy. If I'm going to talk about how one is juicy, then I have to talk about how the other one is what?
Juicy.
Is. Oh, the other one is.
Let's go back.
Mushy.
We have to stay within the same category. What did we say category was? Categoría. So, the difference has to be within the same category. So I can't talk about shape for one and flavor for the other. Does that make sense? If I'm going to talk about how they're different about shape, then I have to say it for both. Right? If I'm going to talk about flavor, I have to say the flavor for both. Right? Because what I'm saying is different is the flavor is different. You know, the shape is different. So we could say bananas and lemons are different because bananas, what could I say about bananas?
Are
Sweets.
are sweet, okay? So then what would I say for the lemons part?
The white lemon. Sour. Oh.
While lemons sour,
Uh-huh.
I'm missing a word there.
R.
Limones son,
R.
lemons are.
It's okay.
I didn't hear the R, sorry. I just heard sour. While lemons are sour. What does wild mean? Give me wild.
Wild es como aún
También.
como la Wait.
Mayúscula.
No miro
Oh,
Mientras.
eso.
That's a fancy way to compare. You could also use the word but instead of while. Okay, so it would work. Bananas and lemons are different because bananas are sweet, but lemons are sour. If you can't remember this word, what word can you use?
But.
Okay? If it's easier to remember but, use the words that you come easier to you. We're going to do the exit ticket next. Are you ready? Did you already write this part? Okay, go quickly. I'll sign your name when you get back. Okay.
Está buena mía.
Hmm?
I put banana and lemon are different because lemons are sour and banana are sweet.
Yeah. So as long as lemons are sour, but bananas, yeah, you just flipped it. As long as it's lemons are sour, bananas are sweet, that's fine. And as long as it's the same category, which is flavor. Right, we're talking about flavor. If I were to talk about texture, what would I say?
Texture.
Texture.
The lemons are juicy, and both the bananas are
Creamy and mushy,
Mhm.
right? Okay, good. So stay within the same category when you're talking about the differences. All right, I'm going to erase this. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so now you have a sample paragraph. What you have in front of you is a sample paragraph.
Same.
You're going to be writing another paragraph about something else in a sonnet. Huh? All right, so now you're going to try it. Now, I'm going to let you do this with a partner. Turn to page 107 in your workbook. I'm going to let you look for the similarities and differences with a group. Okay? Now, one of the groups is going to have 3 people. I want Yimi in one group and Allison in another group. So I think,
Boys.
huh?
Boys.
No. No.
Okay.
Also, here's why. Sometimes you guys, the girls might come up with something different than what you 2 boys will come up with, but you guys are better at putting the sentences together, so you can help your group put together the sentences. Right? So, here's what you're going to do. In partners, you're only going to do the notes part. You're not going to do the paragraph part with a partner. Okay? The paragraph part is the exit ticket. You only have 4 minutes to come up with differences and similarities. On page 107, it asks you to compare disposable plates and reusable plates. What are disposable plates? What does that mean in Spanish? Disposable plates.
The compuesto.
Descompuestos? Disposable.
No sé.
Let's look at our vocab list. Disposable.
Desechable.
Desechable. So we're comparing disposable plates, not those desechable, to reusable plates. What are reusable plates?
Reciclable. Yeah,
Reusado.
That you can use them again. Right? You can reuse them. You can use them again. That re part means again. Okay? Alright, so this one, their book already started it. It's really pale on my screen, but you can see it on your workbook on page 107. The book already gave you 1 difference, 1 similarity. So you see how it's the same category? Use once, use many times as a difference. Okay, same category. Now it gave you use to eat and drink. That's what both can be used for. Platos desechables, disposable plates, and reusable plates can both be used to eat and drink.
Only,
Right?
so estamos hablando de platos.
We're only talking about plates, but we're talking about disposable plates and reusable plates.
¿Qué reusable?
Reusable. And actually, it's spelled the same. Reusable. Reusable. Okay. All right. So, see how much time we have because I'm running out of time. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. And in fact, we're not going to have, I had a feeling this was going to happen. I was hoping we'd be able to write everything before, but okay. Yeah, let's just get going with it. Go ahead and start writing. Think of 2 things of how they're both similar, and then 3 things of how they are different. How are they similar? How are they different?
Oh.
Usable.
Mhm.
Desechable.
Come up with at least one thing, actually, because we won't have time to do 2. Come up with at least one other thing that makes them different. Come up with at least one thing that makes them the same. You're going to come up with just one thing that makes them different, one thing that makes them the same. Go. Okay. I will say that coming up with these is the hardest part. But I think you guys can do it. What is the most crazy? Break? Break? Okay. So if you are done, Jose, I'm gonna check yours right now. Break. Don Pedro? That you can break them or that you can't break them?
Se rompe.
Okay, they break. Which one? ¿Cuál se rompe?
Los dos. El de plástico lo puede hacer así y se rompe. Y
Okay.
si el otro si lo bota, se rompe.
Okay. What can they be made out of? Jose, go quickly, but you're gonna have to come back and finish that exercise. What can they both be made out of?
Plastic.
Okay, so both can fall on plastic, right? You have plastic plates that are disposable, and you have plastic plates that you can keep. All right. Once you're done, it's coming up with how they are similar and different, you can start writing your paragraph. Your paragraph is your exit ticket. The sooner you finish your similarities and differences, the sooner you can start writing. So you only needed one in each, because you're not going to have time if you try to do more than one. You only needed one of each, because your paragraph only needs to have one, okay? You have your sample paragraph. Use your sample paragraph if you need it.
What does desechable mean?
Nope, we already went over that. What did I say desechable means? Desechable.
¿No se rompe?
Oh, you're asking me in Spanish what desechable means. Yeah, que no es que no se rompe. Disposable? Look at what disposable means. Disposable means desechable. What does desechable mean? Or what does disposable mean?
Meant to be used once and thrown away. Or
Meant to be used once and thrown away. Okay? So if you already this one, you can't break it. Okay, when it's reusable, you can't break it. What is this one then? If it's like a paper plate,
You can't.
okay. It can rip. But what if it's made out of plastic? Will it still break? What if this was made out of ceramic? Will it still break? Just give me a better explanation. You can't break it. Break it, IT. Okay. If you're thinking of paper plates, be specific. If it's made out of paper, then you can rip it, right? This one, you can't rip it. Right? Porque hay platos que sí se rompen, pero si estás comparando específicamente platos como de plástico, de vidrio, a uno de papel, ahí sí da. But you have to be specific with the difference. So if you're talking about paper plates, and you say paper plates can break, reusable ones cannot. Alright, so, okay, if you're using BBs, then you need to give this one, okay?
Paper.
If it's made out of paper, yeah. Okay. So, if you found one already, Jose, that's your exit ticket.
Okay, aquí lo pongo.
All of you guys should have started your sentences already. You only need to write 3 sentences and you have 4 minutes to do it. I think you can do it. You have your sample sentence. Because it's the first time we're doing it, you have your sample sentence. Use your sample sentence. These need to be the same category, remember? You can throw it away, so then this one you can't. Or you shouldn't. Right? Where's yours? Where's your sample?